Imagine waking up to the quiet symphony of waves each morning, the salt air thick on your tongue, the horizon stretching endlessly before you. There's no grocery store, no delivery apps, no secret stash of snacks, just the sea, its mysteries, and your determination. For the next 30 days, your survival depends entirely on your ability to harvest whatever you can from the ocean. No grains, no vegetables, no fruit, and certainly no processed foods. The question is, could you actually last a month eating only what you catch in the ocean? First, let's set some ground rules. You have basic fishing and foraging gear: lines, hooks, a simple spear, perhaps a small net. You're permitted to use a small boat or kayak, but no motorized fishing vessels or industrial equipment. You can purify seawater for drinking, but everything you eat must come from the ocean itself. Fish, shellfish, seaweed, maybe even the occasional sea cucumber or urchin. The rest is up to your skill, resilience, and ingenuity. At first glance, this might sound like paradise, at least for a few days. The ocean is, after all, a vast and bountiful pantry, teeming with life. But surviving, truly lasting for a month on nothing but what you can catch, is a test of both body and mind, far more challenging than most imagine. The first challenge is add calories. Most people underestimate how many calories they actually need, especially when adding the exertion required to fish, dive, and forage. The average adult burns between 2,000 and 2,500 calories each day, and more if they're active. Catching enough food to meet this requirement is no small feat. Suppose on the first day you're lucky. The morning tide is low, exposing tide pools and rocky outcrops flecked with mussels and barnacles. With a little effort, you pry off a dozen mussels, gather a handful of limpets, and spot a fat crab scuttling under a rock. Later, you cast a line, and after a patient hour, pull in a modest-sized fish, perhaps a sea bass or a mackerel. Dinner is a rustic feast, the flavor of the sea fresh and invigorating. But even a generous catch like this only provides a few hundred calories, far short of your daily needs. Shellfish are nutritious, but not calorie-dense. Fish, especially lean species, offer protein and vital fats, but you'd need to catch several pounds each day to reach your target. And that's assuming success every single time. As the days wear on, the initial novelty fades, replaced by a gnawing urgency. Hunger sharpens your senses, but also saps your energy, making each foray into the surf or out onto the water more taxing. On some days, the fish elude you, the tides are uncooperative, and storms churn the sea, making it unsafe to venture far. Perhaps you manage only a few small crabs or a handful of seaweed, enough to stave off hunger, but not enough to feel truly satisfied. Nutrition becomes another pressing concern. The ocean provides ample protein and healthy fats, particularly from fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, which are rich in omega-3s and fat-soluble vitamins like D and A. Shellfish offer essential minerals: zinc, selenium, copper, and iron. Seaweed, often overlooked, is a powerhouse of iodine, vitamin K, and certain B vitamins. Yet despite this abundance, gaps begin to emerge in your diet. Carbohydrates are virtually absent from the ocean's menu. And while your body can adapt to using fat and protein for energy, the lack of quick-burning carbs may leave you feeling sluggish, especially during intensive activities. Vitamin C is another challenge. Most marine foods are low in this crucial nutrient, and after a few weeks, a deficiency could lead to symptoms of scurvy, fatigue, gum disease, and joint pain. While some seaweeds offer small amounts of vitamin C, you'd need to eat substantial quantities to make a difference, and not all are palatable or easily digested. There are also risks lurking beneath the waves. Shellfish harvested from polluted waters can accumulate toxins, leading to food poisoning or even paralysis. Certain fish carry mercury or other heavy metals, especially larger predatory species. Consuming raw or undercooked seafood increases the risk of parasites and bacterial infections. And then there's the ever-present danger of misidentification. Some sea creatures, like cone snails or certain urchins, are highly toxic. Assuming you navigate these hazards, the monotony of the diet itself becomes a psychological hurdle. Variety is limited, and even the freshest catch grows tiresome when eaten day after day. The absence of familiar flavors, sweetness, starch, the tang of fruit, or the crunch of vegetables can erode morale. Food is more than fuel. It's comfort, culture, and connection to the world. Stripped to its bare essentials, your relationship with eating becomes functional, even transactional. Yet, there are moments of wonder and gratitude. The shimmering thrill of pulling in a fish after hours of waiting. The delicate sweetness of a freshly steamed clam. The briny crunch of nori, dried and crisped in the sun. The satisfaction of learning to read the tides, to spot the telltale signs of life beneath the surface, to become attuned to the rhythms of the sea. As the weeks pass, you grow leaner, tougher, and more resourceful. Your hands are calloused from hauling nets and prying shells from rocks. Your skin is tanned and salt-crusted. You learn to make every scrap count. Fish bones simmered into broth, seaweed dried for later, shells repurpose it as tools. You become intimately familiar with the micro-ecosystems of the shore, where the abalone cling when the crabs emerge, how to spot the silvery flash of a school of sardines. Despite the hardships, the ocean offers lessons in resilience and adaptability. You discover that hunger sharpens creativity. You experiment with new preparation methods, grilling over open flame, fermenting, smoking. You find ways to stretch meager catches, combining seaweed with tiny mollusks to create makeshift stews, or using fish eggs to add richness to a simple meal. Each day brings a new challenge, but also new skills, new knowledge, and a deepening respect for the delicate balance of marine life. Social isolation is another factor not to be underestimated. The ocean can be a lonely place, especially if you're undertaking this challenge alone. The absence of shared meals, the ritual of cooking and eating with others can weigh heavily. Food is a cornerstone of community, and without it, you may find yourself craving not just calories, but connection. You learn to find solace in the natural world, the rhythm of the waves, the call of seabirds, the quiet satisfaction of self-reliance. After a month, the cumulative toll of this way of living becomes clear. Most people would emerge from such an ordeal lighter, both physically and emotionally. You'd likely lose weight, perhaps a significant amount, particularly if your catches were inconsistent. Your body would adapt by slowing metabolism, conserving energy, and prioritizing essential functions. Muscle mass might decline, especially if protein intake was inadequate, or if you resorted to burning muscle for energy. On the other hand, you'd likely experience certain health benefits. A diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, minerals, and lean protein, combined with daily physical activity, could lower cholesterol, improve cardiovascular health, and sharpen mental acuity. The absence of processed foods, sugars, and artificial additives would give your digestive system a break. You might sleep more deeply, breathe more easily, and find a new appreciation for the simple pleasure of a well-earned meal. But there are limits to what the human body can endure. Without vitamin C, scurvy remains a real risk after several weeks. Without sufficient calories, malnutrition follows. Your immune system weakens, making you more susceptible to infection. Prolonged exposure to the elements, sun, wind, salt, can lead to dehydration, heat stroke, or hypothermia, depending on the climate. For most, the answer to whether you could last a month eating only what you catch in the ocean is possibly, but not without significant challenges and risks. Survival would depend on your skill, adaptability, the richness of the local marine environment, and a measure of luck. Those with prior experience, fishermen, divers, foragers, would fare better, as would those in regions with abundant, clean, and diverse marine life. Yet, even under ideal conditions, it's a hard life. The romantic notion of living off the sea, free from modern constraints, quickly gives way to the realities of hunger, fatigue, and uncertainty. The ocean is a generous provider, but also a fickle one, and its bounty is never guaranteed. There are ways to improve your odds. Learning to identify and harvest a wide variety of marine foods, from common fish to lesser-known shellfish and edible seaweeds, expands your options. Mastering basic preservation techniques, smoking, drying, fermenting, helps smooth out the feast or famine cycle. Understanding the local tides, seasons, and habitats can dramatically increase your success rate. And above all, cultivating patience, resilience, and respect for the natural world is essential. Of course, this challenge also offers a window into the lives of those who have depended on the ocean for centuries. Coastal peoples around the world, Inuit hunters, Polynesian navigators, Scandinavian fishermen, have developed sophisticated knowledge and techniques for sustainably harvesting marine resources. Their wisdom, accumulated over generations, is a testament to the delicate dance between human needs and the rhythms of the sea. In the end, lasting a month on nothing but what you catch in the ocean is a feat of endurance, skill, and adaptability. It's a journey back to basics, a stripping away of modern comforts and conveniences. It's a test not just of physical survival, but of mental fortitude and spiritual resilience. You would emerge changed, humbled by the power of the sea, grateful for every mouthful, every small victory, every lesson learned. You would carry with you a new respect for the fragile balance of marine life and for the countless people who still depend on its bounty each day. So, could you last a month eating only what you catch in the ocean? With preparation, skill, and determination, it's possible, but it would be among the toughest challenges you'd ever face. A true test of what it means to survive, endure, and in the end, thrive in harmony with the natural world.